6 o'clock.
I'd like to welcome everybody to our Monday, December 15th, 2025 Cascade City Council meeting. We'll have a call to order with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Oliphant. Here. Weber.
Here.
Hush.
Here.
Gale.
Here.
Delaney.
Here. Need a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Oliphant,
Second.
second by Hush. All in favor?
Aye.
Before public comment, I've got a few things I'd like to address, and those are thank yous to Andrew Kahlberg for his Eagle Scout project at the dog park, and also Austin Diller for his audio tour of Cascade. There were two really good Eagle Scout projects that these two gentlemen took on and completed. And I'd like to thank the crew that did all the lighting at the Riverview Park for the holidays. Awesome job. And also our city crew on their snow removal efforts. I think everybody was well satisfied with everything that they did. They do a great job. And the other recognitions I'd like to do is for different projects that are an asset to Cascade. One is Bucky Monternock with B&L Construction on his commercial building on First Avenue East, and the downtown revitalization jobs of Ross and Chantel Orr for their building, Todd with North Fork Insurance, the old barber shop facade, Robbie Napper on his building, and Jake and Jackie McAllister on their hotel building renovations. Those are just awesome additions to our downtown area. And last but not least, I'd like to recognize Megan for her 4 years of service as councilperson to the citizens of Cascade, and awesome job. Do you have anything to say?
It was a huge learning experience. It's an experience I'm glad I did. I think that everyone should serve one term on their local government because you learn so much, and I definitely will not take things that go on in this community for granted, and it was quite the experience. So definitely something I'm glad I did.
Thank you. You were an asset to have on the team.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you. At this point, we'll have public comment, limit of 3 minutes per person on agenda items and local government issues. Seeing none. Consent agenda, city council minutes 11/24/25 and 12/8/25. Cascade Park Board minutes 12/1/25. Cascade Public Library minutes 12/2/25 and 12/8/25. A Visa invoice in the amount of $2,388.11. Liquor license ownership change from Casey's Marketing Company. Liquor license renewal for Corner Tap Room, and December 15th, 2025 claims. Is there any concerns about the consent agenda?
Just a comment. You guys probably saw that this is a different looking report, so this is from our new software. So,
Do you need a magnifying glass for that, or?
Actually.
It looks smaller.
I can read it just fine. I mean, if we need to adjust the font or something, I'm sure we can maybe work on that.
If there's no questions, I need a motion on the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve. the
Motion by
consent
Hush,
I'll second it.
second by Oliphant, all in favor?
Aye.
Next, we'll have a presentation by Greater Dubuque Development. Sure.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
agenda. All yours.
Give your name.
Can you hear me okay? Mr. Mayor, Mayor Nepper, members of the council, City Administrator McCusker, Dan McDonald. I'm with Greater Dubuque Development, 900 Jackson Street in Dubuque, Iowa. And I'm here to just give you a ridiculously easy and quick, I promise I won't take your night if it's cold, presentation. And you should have received some of this in your council packets, but I think context matters. Before I get started, Councilwoman? Those were great comments, I agree. It's probably a lot, I didn't know you were getting off the council, but you know what? I'm sure there's people who think it's a really easy thing, but there's more that goes into it, so thank you for your service.
Thank you. You're
Seriously, I
welcome.
really loved your comments, so thank you for saying that.
Yeah, thanks.
Again, I'm with Greater Dubuque Development. I'll just give you a little context here. I think there's in the report you would have received, and before I leave tonight, I had extra copies in case anybody in the audience would like to see it. I could actually give them to them now. The state of Iowa, Governor Reynolds, Debbie Durham from the Iowa Economic Development Authority, they've asked, they don't tell people, but they've asked all 99 counties in Iowa to get out from behind their desk, find out what's cooking in the real world, and talk to one-to-one with business owners. We've done this for years. We didn't need anybody to tell us. In fact, our organization, and including the businesses I'm going to talk about in Cascade, it's a fact that of the 1,000 that were done in Iowa for the last year, 33%, over 300 were coming right out of Dubuque County. They include the businesses that you see here in Cascade. So we have put up a third, whereas the other 98 counties in Iowa, including Des Moines and others, aren't nearly keeping pace. And I tell you that not to impress you, but to impress upon you that instead of trying to guess, whether it's a good day or a bad day in the economy, we try to get out, sit down, have a candid conversation about what are you seeing, what's the upside, what's the downside, and we've done that for years. And what you see here is, we decided to do, Jason White from our team and I, we sit down with these companies. In the last year, we met with 11 companies in Cascade. Now, the whole universe that we met with in Dubuque County and Southwest Wisconsin, Illinois was about 255. We meet with about 18 in Piasta. So we mix it up, but I want to tell you something really important before I just give you the highlight reel. You know, those 11 companies that we met with, we do not meet with retail or service. Those 11 companies collectively employ about 700 people in Cascade. They're primarily in manufacturing, construction, utilities. So it's a good mix because we know there's other folks out talking to the retailers, the bars and restaurant owners. That's not what you're seeing here. What I'd like to tell you, and again, I'm pretty informal. I've had conversations with Mayor Knepper, and Deanna's helped us with projects over the years. And Bill, I feel like I've known you forever. I'm pretty informal, and I tell you that because I don't want to disrespect your time, but I take what we do seriously. But if you have a question as I'm talking, don't worry about hurting my feelings. You can say, what does that mean? So please do that. Ton of bright sky here as far as I'm concerned. The report that we sent you, and again, we did a carve out for Dubuque, Piasta, Cascade. We do this just kind of see what's cooking. The highlight reel, in my opinion, and I'm not going to sugarcoat either, there's some challenges clearly. But when you take a look, the businesses that we've met with in Cascade, a big positive is the majority are actually having increasing sales levels from the previous years. That's a big deal because the economy globally is weird. So it's a big deal to say we're not perfect, but we're up from where we were. That's a big deal. They're also gaining market share. What that means, of course, is that if you're a company that's making a product and you're competing around the United States, what you're telling us, the majority is we're certainly not losing business. In fact, we're probably gaining business. Now, the dark side to that would be is that there's a number of companies all over this region that have said, yes, I still have my best customers. They're just not buying as much from me this year. But they're keeping them and they're actually gaining customers. Expansions. This is one I really want to talk about to make sure it's not confused. You had a big majority of your companies saying they plan to expand, 64%. Now, just to be clear, we define expansion as I'm going to add on to my facility, I'm going to spend money on brand new machinery and equipment, I'm going to modernize, anything that says I'm not just sitting in place. So it's not necessarily it's a new building, it's about spending money versus just kind of being scared. And so that is a huge, big number. As far as community strengths, weaknesses, barriers to growth, we ask every company we meet with everywhere, again in Northwest Illinois, Southwest Wisconsin, and all of Dubuque County. And I will tell you consistently, and this is where you do a great job, and in fact, I've said it in this room before, you really are geographically blessed. I mean, you have a great community. You sit smack dab between like Dubuque, and you've got Cedar Rapids, and I mean, you're at a great location. Your community shows well, and when we talk to the CEOs of companies, the one thing they say that they see as an upside or a strength is, and they say it every year, quality of life and amenities. They really like Cascade, so that's a compliment to you. They're not saying, boy, it's a lousy, I gotta get out of here. That's a plus. So next time you're having a bad day, yes, we're not doing that bad. So, market size, location, and customer loyalty. I'll tell you what this means. This is a blessing and a curse kind of thing. We hear it consistently, and I'm pretty sure you would all agree with me. We all have friends, family, neighbors, people we love, work with, and the market size, location, and customer loyalty, I'm just gonna be brutally honest, means this. It is a blessing that we live in a small town and we know who we're doing business with. It is a curse that we live in a small town and we all know who, I mean, it's like the biggest small town in the world, and we hear it in Dubuque too. So there's a ton of upside there. It means there's great connections, loyalty. It means that you're gonna be able to sell product, and that's a good thing because you wouldn't have that in a city like Chicago. It's too big. You don't know who you're dealing with. And then, of course, the work ethic. You know, people use that as a punchline. It comes up in the interviews. I have folks say, yes, I have the hardest working team around. I wish the younger kids would want to work more overtime, but boy, when they're here, the work ethic is a big thing, and the folks that we talk to in Cascade think that their employees really do work hard. And so I think those are all pluses. The barriers to growth, or the things that would say, yeah, since you're asking, here's a negative or here's a challenge, very consistent with what we see in other communities. Again, I say it in all 3 states because we go and look at businesses in, you know, East Dubuque, Keeler, Wisconsin, Bellevue, you know, workforce. I'm probably, no new news there. I mean, clearly population growth, demography, I mean, we in the Midwest, this is not new news. We are getting older. We have a math problem. We didn't have enough people to backfill jobs. So it's not a Cascade issue, but it's one that's clearly brought up as, if a company were to say, I'm selling a ton of product, I have plenty of money, my bank or my credit union is great, I just can't find people. I don't think that issue's ever gonna go away because of raw demographics. It's simply, you think about the size of families before versus now, it's a tough one. So it's not a knock on Cascade, it's just that's the biggest challenge or barrier to growth for the businesses we meet with. The 2 that are starting to come up that we had not heard about 10 years ago. I've had the privilege of working with Greater Dubuque for 20+ years, and I will tell you that if someone would have said to me, you know, when I started my career, housing and childcare and arts and neat things to do, I love those things. I'm just saying, that would not have been on the radar of most economic development groups anywhere in the United States. Well, everybody's hip to it now. I mean, legit, in big cities and small cities, it's about community development. So when we ask the companies we met with in Cascade, the big thing is clearly labor market again, housing availability, which by the way in Dubuque is the #1 issue for us in the city of Dubuque. So it's comes up #2 for you folks. And then economic conditions and uncertainty. This really had nothing to do with Cascade in terms of barrier to growth. It had to do with tariffs. It had to do with just things that are happening. It had to do with Mother Nature. I mean, you can't control the crop. I mean, so that wasn't about Cascade, but that was cited as a barrier to the companies we met with growing. When it came to asking people on a wish list, the question we ask is, when you think about the priorities that our community, our region should be focusing on, both for your business and our community as a whole, we have a whole check the box list. And the top 5 that came up, housing for Cascade, talent attractive and initiatives, that's workforce upskilling, that means with the folks you have, if there's training programs through NICC or others, make sure that we're working on workforce. That took 2 of the top 5 slots. Childcare, people are saying it's getting better, but it's still an issue. For folks who don't have kiddos in childcare, I used to, it is an issue. It's real and it's here to stay. And then retail and amenities. To be fair, when you think about the nice restaurants and shops you have in Cascade, we hear this in Dubuque too. We consistently have people ask, why don't we have a Red Lobster or Trader Joe's? I mean, it's like, retail comes up because I think people believe, and it's probably true, that, you know, some of our younger kiddos, they move to bigger cities, and if they ever come back, for the right reasons, they'll come back someday, we should have more retail and amenities. So again, it's not necessarily a Cascade thing, but it comes up. I think overall though, I mean, I probably took more time than I should have. You got this report, but I want you to know the businesses we meet with in Cascade, again, representing 700 jobs. We do not meet with retail. They're pretty happy with what's going on here. There's things that, again, related to housing and childcare that are systematic, but your community shows well. And clearly, there's also challenges in here. So I'm not up here trying to give you happy talk. I'm saying you guys are doing a really good job, and maybe you don't hear that enough. There's one area on there that really you can't do a ton about. The region has tried it before, when you look at one of the lowest scores that you folks would get, in Dubuque, when I asked the question on a scale of 1 to 7, with 7 being high, 1 being poor, air service in Dubuque, it's the lowest score by far. Housing is right next to it. What we hear in the smaller communities outside of the city is public transportation. So public transportation, if this same report was given to Piasta, there's people who say, hey, you know, we have X amount of jobs right in our industrial park in Piasta, and I know there's folks in Dubuque, the city, that might live downtown that would love to come out here. There's no way to get them out here. Now, we talked with the RTA, there's the companies we meet with also would say, they believe that they have quality businesses, they do. They believe that they pay good wages. Some of your manufacturers are actually very competitive. But the rub is, if you're someone who's just kind of getting back into the workforce, maybe just got some training, don't have reliable transportation, we see it all the time in Dubuque, but it's easier because it's closer. So transportation comes up. It's not, I don't want you to be alarmed by that, but there's a reason for it. That's the color and texture behind why public transportation will come up as an issue. There's a belief that people would want to work here, and some folks just might have a hard time getting here. So I want to leave a copy for the members of the audience, and I also have a brand new copy of our annual report that really highlights what's happening in this market and with our organization. Deanna, when I previously worked with you, I haven't seen you in a while. It's great to have you back.
Thank you.
I make these promises like, I'll only talk for 2 minutes, and here I am.
That's okay.
On a serious note, though, I respect your time, and I want to ask, do you have any questions, anything that I didn't cover? You don't have to do it tonight, but if anything I can address right now for you folks?
I don't have a question, but I love the amenities on here, because that was a big part of one of my priorities being on council. And so I know infrastructure is a huge priority for the majority of our council, but I just challenge you over the next 4 years to continue to, like, absolutely, we've got to focus on infrastructure. There's a lot of work that needs to be done in Cascade, but please don't forget about the amenities, because that's what's going to continue to draw young families back to Cascade.
If I could just add to that.
Mhm,
Again,
please.
I appreciate you saying that. So context again matters. So this is not a political statement. In fact, it's not even remotely close to a political statement, but I will tell you this. In Dubuque, when we broke it down for the 160 or whatever companies, when we break it out of the 255, what's interesting on that list of what things should we be doubling down on, I've not met anybody who said, yes, please raise my taxes. There's people who don't mind paying it, and there's people who say, no way. All I'm telling you is on our top 10 list, it's double down on arts and entertainment, double down on recreation, double down on childcare, air service. Taxes come up near the bottom. And that, I say, and I prefaced it that way not to say that there are people with tattoos on where I'm saying, I love taxes, charge me more. What I'm saying is, when we talk to that many CEOs, and they're very good with their money and treat a nickel like a manhole cover, taxes come up at the bottom. It's more like we need to double down and make this place where someone would want to live, because workforce is the #1 issue, and that's how you kind of connect the dots. But if you don't explain it like that, someone would say, well, you telling me people want higher taxes? I did not. It doesn't come up as a top priority. It's there, but it's really about how do we make our community things that you wouldn't think about that matter to other people. So I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah, thanks.
Again, Mayor Nepper.
Thank
I know
you.
You've stuck with us a couple times for these mayor meetings. I'm going to leave copies of these here. Is there a formality where I can just leave them on the table, or how would you like me to do that?
Just any place there,
Okay. I'm
they'll
gonna
find them.
Set them right over here for anybody who'd like to grab them. You were the easiest part of my night. I thought you were going to start asking me really tough questions. No, actually, you folks, I wasn't kidding before. I would tell you this. When I use that term geographically, like blessed, I mean, I don't need to, you know that. It's like that 150, 161 corridor on any given day. If you're coming from Cedar Rapids, we see Wisconsin places, there's people coming from Madison, and here you are. And we've seen over the years where someone who is having maybe a bad day and sick of their commute might be driving from Cedar Rapids to, I don't know, north of Dubuque, maybe even to Madison, and say, you know what? I don't really like doing this. There's a cute community here, so it happens. I'm just saying. And so keep up the great work. And if you ever need anything, we always say there's 364 other days in the year. You're stuck with us at least once a year saying, hey, but I know Bill's been good about it over the years. Again, with the Economic Development Group, Deanna's worked on projects, and the mayor. If anything comes up, let us know, and the worst we can say is, gee whiz, we don't know, but we will really try. So
Thank you.
That's all I got. And happy holidays, Merry Christmas to all of you, and then we'll get out of your way, so.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for what you
Yep.
do.
Merry Christmas.
Safe drive home.
Thank you very much.
Number 8, consideration to approve resolution number 113-25, resolution providing for the issuance of $1,420,000 in general obligation corporate purpose bonds, Series 2025, and providing for the levy of taxes to pay the same. Anything on this?
No, this
Nope.
is just.
Gotcha. Need a motion?
Process.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Oliphant,
Second.
second by Weber, roll call.
Oliphant,
Aye.
Weber,
Aye.
Hush,
Aye.
Gale,
Aye.
Delaney.
Aye.
Number 9, consideration to approve resolution number 114-25, a resolution approving park board member reappointment for Chantel Orr to fill term until December 31, 2030 for the city of Cascade, Iowa. Any questions?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Gale,
Second.
second by Hush, roll call.
Weber,
Aye.
Hush,
Aye.
Gale,
Aye.
Delaney,
Aye.
Oliphant.
Aye.
Number 10, consideration to approve resolution number 115-25, fiscal year 2026 semi-annual disbursement of incremental property tax revenue for N.J. Callahan LLC. Need a motion?
Make a motion.
Motion by Delaney,
I'll second it.
second by Oliphant, roll call.
Hush,
Aye.
Gale,
Aye.
Delaney,
Aye.
Oliphant,
Aye.
Weber.
Aye.
Number 11, consideration to approve resolution number 116-25, a resolution approving pay application number 2 for the Buchanan Street Storm and Sanitary Repair Project in the city of Cascade, Iowa. This is just a pay issue for this.
Yes.
Need a motion?
This is not any extra stuff, this is just
Just the
what we owe
norm.
'em.
No, there was nothing special about it, just that they had to, after we asphalted the streets, they had to come back and adjust the manholes and then the manhole that we had talked about replacing.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Gale,
Second.
second by Weber, roll call.
Gale,
Aye.
Delaney,
Aye.
Oliphant,
Aye.
Weber,
Aye.
Hush.
Aye.
Number 12, consideration to approve resolution number 117-25, a resolution to appoint the city administrator to the Jones County Economic Development Board. Need a motion?
I'll make a motion. Oh, sorry.
Motion by Oliphant,
I'll second.
second by Delaney, roll call.
Delaney,
Aye.
Oliphant,
Aye.
Weber,
Aye.
Hush,
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Number 13, consideration to approve resolution number 118-25, a resolution approving entering into an architectural services proposal with Martin Gardner Architecture to review the feasibility of relocating the police department to the old library.
So I thought we were gonna sell the old library, and I didn't know we were looking into moving.
I thought we were talking about getting a quote of what it would cost to update the old library to the police department.
I-
And then making a decision from there.
I guess,
And also
So-
what it would cost for that.
Yeah.
Right, so
So
that's,
that's what that $2,500 will do?
yeah, that's
I-
what he's gonna do is.
can we not enlist people that we have in town that have the ability to do the same thing?
We have an architect firm?
I guess I look back to the
I mean,
gazebo. I look back at the gazebo at the Riverview Park that we had a engineering firm do, and we paid as much as you could build a 2-bedroom house with a garage and a full basement for that gazebo.
Well, that's different. You're paying engineering fees.
Yeah.
And that's always 30% more.
More.
But this, I mean, to really get the true cost of what it's gonna take to add on to our police or make our police department what we would like it to be, and or to move the police department to the old library, what will that take? We need someone that has experience in looking at the feasibility of both buildings and then coming back to us and saying, okay, this is what it would cost, this is what it would take to transform the old library into a police department, and this is what it would take to
Add on.
do whatever we need to the current police department to make it the kind of police department we would like.
I agree with Mark, though. I thought we were pretty much giving up on using the old library, and that it was supposed to be just a round figure or a guesstimate type thing as to what we could do perhaps to expand the present police department into the old jail area.
Okay, well, I wasn't at that meeting that it was discussed, but that's what, from the closed session, that's what I was told.
I remember
Yeah.
a comparison too, that we were gonna do a comparison.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna compare. I
'Cause we
was,
wanted to know what the value of that versus the other was, and then what it would cost either way, so that way we were looking at all the numbers in front of us, so we knew what we were talking
I can
about.
guarantee you, it's going to start out at $2,500.
And
And we're
then-
going to move into the past that, another $7,500, and we're going to be sitting here with $10,000
and nothing.
and with absolutely nothing being done.
Well, I'm not saying about necessarily this guy, I'm just saying that that's what we talked about that night was.
I don't
having the
recall it
comparison
exactly that
numbers.
way, but I'm just saying, but the problem is, you turn this into a slippery slope. You end up with $10,000 invested, and then you've got to make a decision whether to go ahead or not. I've seen it time and time again, and it's awfully hard to back away and just leave $10,000 on the table. Because that's, and again, I thought we were looking to take the old library and try to put it on the market.
I'm opposed to selling it. I think that we should look at, I mean, building a new police department is gonna cost well over $1 million. I mean, anything we've done, it's gonna
Well-
cost a
Well,
ton.
you gotta look at it this way. We have an ambulance service that we rent, that building. We have a fire station that is full. And obviously, our police station is not big enough, so do something like Epworth Scott, down
I-
the road. So I don't wanna spend a lot of money.
Just for the
that over
short,
there, if all of a sudden we could do something.
I don't disagree with that. I mean, I think combining the three is a great idea. I just think that you're looking at 5 to 10 years down the road, minimum.
Yeah,
And I don't have a problem with that.
yeah, that's,
But
I'm looking to the
To me,
future.
that is a concern because you're gonna have a third officer here, hopefully within the next year. Where are you putting everybody?
We've been having a third officer for 10 years.
Oh, I don't disagree. Like, but you're making my point even more for me because
I'm
you're
just-
saying you want to have a combined fire, EMS, and police. We've been trying to get a third police officer for 10 years. This is never going to happen. I mean, with the rate that we do things.
So, my view on this, whether it be the library or expanding over here, I'm going through, is just like EMS or just like any other department that we were gonna have people work in. You have to create an environment that we're gonna stay, like, we keep turning over police officer after police officer, police officer. When we're, I mean, no offense, Fred's kind of stuck in a corner in the back of the building over there, and there isn't much room, and they don't have anywhere for interrogations. They don't have anywhere really for storage of evidence. They really don't have any, you have to have an environment where these guys can come in and feel like they're part of a team, they're part of an environment they can work in. I mean, we need to expand on the police department if we're gonna ever keep anybody. So whether it be building out over here or going through, we have to invest in ourselves. It's all about that, just like in town, of creating an environment where people wanna live, I mean, it's a quality of life. It's also a quality of life work environment too, so we need to work into that direction, and if, you know, I don't care which way it goes. If we end up selling this to help pay for doing a police expansion over here, fine. If we have to move them over there, fine. But we need to do something. So I just wanted to see the numbers. I don't care if it's local guys that come down and just kind of give us a ballpark figure. I don't, you know, we don't have to stick lots of money into it. I don't care. Just so we get an idea of where we're gonna be sitting. But I think we need some numbers in front of us before we just jump out and go. I mean,
So he's gonna do this for $2,500?
What do we get for that? He will come and look at both locations and determine the feasibility of each location, like what's the best for us. Personally, I think it's a no-brainer just looking at the locations, but he will document it. He will put together a list of, this is what we would need to do. Right now, we probably could move into the old library as it is. And anything that we would need to do, we could do it as we have the money or whatever. This location, we're gonna have to knock out walls, we're gonna have to add on, and it's still not gonna
How
be
many
what we
square
want.
feet do you need?
A lot more than what we've got now.
You think that's the reason that we don't get police officers, because we don't have a nice police station?
Part of it is that we just don't have space. If Brad and I were working, or Tyler and I are working at the same time, which has happened, we've had events where we've had other officers come and help us. You get one or two guys in that office and that's it. If they want to take a formal break, they have to go in and shut doors. Anybody walking by can knock on either one of the doors and come right in. We don't really have an adequate evidence lockup. If the state came in and started inspecting what we've got now, we'd have tens of thousands of dollars worth of fines.
Could you have a secure lockup space in the basement? If you had a dedicated space that was
You'd
secure?
probably have to have a separate entrance on it, because now if we wanted to go in there, we'd actually have to.
You'd come in
this
through
door
here.
And go
Yeah.
through there. So we'd probably have to have a separate entrance, then we'd have to have that alarmed also. And some things you're not gonna get carried down into a basement. Unless you've got several people help you. You probably almost need an elevator for certain things that you're gonna take down there. So.
What type of
What do you do with
things
those
would be
now?
that big?
Well, the last time we had a big event like that, we ended up calling the county attorney. This happened, we did a search warrant over in Monticello, and we ended up calling the county attorney, and we started taking pictures, and we started releasing stuff. So we were there for hours, waiting for people to show up and get their stuff. And then the rest of the stuff, we still have some of that in a back room back here. But there was some of the items. I had a lawnmower. Where am I gonna store a lawnmower? We had to call the guy that reported the lawnmower stolen and have him come and get it.
But that's kind of the easiest
That's what you're supposed to do, right?
Yeah.
Well, we'd like to hang on to the evidence as long as we possibly can. So, but since we got approval from the county attorney to do that, and we didn't have enough equipment, we didn't have trailers to haul it all over here to begin with. So, we've outgrown our space. We've been outgrown, that space has been small for years. Back when you had, way before I got here, before Don Miyagawa was here, you guys had a jail and dispatch center down at the electric plant. That was a lot more space than what we've got now. You had more officers then, but we have more technology. We've got to keep certain things. I've got some stuff stored in that cold storage area in that back room. I've had to hang on for 15 years. I can never release it. I can never let it go. I've got to hang on to it. Once the guy gets out of federal prison, then we can probably end up destroying it. So we've run out of space. We need an expansion. We need to do something. If we go into that back room, yeah, I mean, we're not going to gain much because I have stuff stored there, so I have to find another spot to put some of that stuff.
You have stuff stored there, how? Isn't there an exterior door to that?
Yeah, a wooden door that anybody could put a shoulder in and go right in if they wanted to. That's why anything that I have of any value, I've got in a cabinet in my office with a gun lock on it. That's our only evidence storage. I have a couple guns in personal lockers back there that can't release. So we need to do something. If we go into that back room, yeah, you've got to knock down a wall. You've got to seal that alley off or extend onto the building. There's another window there. There's mold mitigation in there. There's HVAC, there's electricity, there's internet. All that stuff would have to be run in there. Flooring. So, and we've still got the problem of where do we store the stuff that we've got in there?
How much space was available at the utility building when Don was here?
Which utility bill?
Down
Where they used to be.
where he used to be?
You mean the municipal utility
Yeah.
building?
Where
There was a small office. out there.
Dispatch used to be. I thought you just said it was big.
Oh, with dispatch down there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've got generators and stuff in there now. So there's no space down there either. For the old
I
electric.
was
or the
wondering
electric
how many
magnets.
square, how big was it?
Oh, I don't know how big it was at the time. But now they've got 4 or 5 generators down there. So,
Decent size then.
But we gotta I think we gotta do a feasibility study just to see what's gonna cost. I mean.
So they'll
you
do a
know,
cost analysis
Yep.
also?
yeah.
Yep. They'll put
I
an
mean, if
estimate
it's-
of cost of what it would take to rehab the old library and then what it would take to remodel the existing police department.
They're not gonna give us a design out of it, but they're gonna tell us what it's gonna
Yeah.
potentially
Yeah, a
cost.
guesstimate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a guesstimate.
To me, $2,500 is well spent to get that idea of what's it gonna cost here, what's it gonna cost over there.
I think that's the way we gotta go, because at least then we know what we gotta do to budget money for the next year.
Yeah. And the guy that's doing this project has done police departments before.
Have you and Tyler got together and done a footprint of what you'd like to see?
He and I have talked about it. We kind of have an idea.
Because that'd be
As far
nice
as
to
evidence and
have a piece of
tests and-
paper that had, you know, space designated on it for certain usage.
Yep. We've kind of chatted about it a little bit. Yeah. But until we make a decision, it's like, do I go into a spot that's 5 times bigger than what we've got, or do I add on another small room like I've got?
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to determine how things are set up also.
I would go off of both, if you can. I mean, if you could come up with an idea for both, just so that they have an idea and we can get a better, for the feasibility wise, I think it'd be nice to know what you're wanting to see in both locations so that they can give, I mean, it's not gonna be a super accurate number, I'm sure, but like at least they'll have
No.
a better idea
Well,
of
the
what.
cost of materials, you don't know if they're going to go up or down.
Exactly.
They're not going to go down, but,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but like knowing kind of what you're envisioning, I think would help them. So I know it sucks to do twice as much work for it, but
Yeah, we could sit down with them and kind of go over things and just how many desks we're looking at, this, what I'd like to do for an evidence room.
Well, that study's gonna, you're talking a building that's got 3 times the square footage than this one. So the study's gonna be way different.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna get the room out of this one that you're gonna have in that one.
And I'm still losing storage space, so.
right, but at least
What
then
kind of
we'd
storage
have.
space you need? Does it all have to be secure?
Pretty much. I've got files back there that.
So like all that stuff in that front room, what's that? How long?
That is
that evidence?
promotional items, uniform supplies, other items that we need. Those are things that come in and come back out. We have our radio systems in there, cameras, video cameras are stored in there. So that's stuff I've got to keep cool and dry. I've got ammunition in there. That's stuff I've got to keep in a controlled environment. I can't put that in the back room. That's why we're so packed in there. I've got a couple pieces of equipment that were donated to the police department that I've got to get to the emergency response team. I'm taking up 3 feet of worth of space with those. So that's not a lot of what's clutter in there, or what's being stored in there.
I didn't say nothing about clutter.
I know.
You just said it.
So I mean, there wouldn't be suitable space in the basement to cubicle off for storage?
Again, it's got to be a controlled environment with some of this stuff, depending upon what we're putting down there, and then we have to get it down there. So you'd almost have to put an elevator in to get it down there.
We learned how much those cost at the library.
An alternative maybe to the municipal utility building out there. They must have some square feet out there that's not being used.
Where we're storing the squad cars,
Yeah.
where we're storing the squad cars is not a controlled environment.
Well, I mean, you
There's
can
no
make it a
heat, there's no
controlled
cooling. I
environment.
think there's one light in there. So that we go in, they leave a light on so we can see the squad cars.
I'm just saying, but you can make a controlled environment. I don't know what size you're talking about, 12 by 15.
I don't know how you're gonna put a controlled environment in where we're at. Out there, you'd have to run all that duct work and then probably a separate furnace.
That's all you do is put a shell up with.
Things start getting moldy, you ruin evidence,
How long does evidence have to be kept?
depending upon what it is. We had one guy, I'm not gonna mention
Yeah,
any
I-
names, but, yeah, I mean, we've had a piece of electronic equipment of his for 15 years, probably.
And why would you have to keep that when he's already been convicted and tried and?
We have to hang on to that until he's out in case there's an appeal.
Really?
Yeah, and I have files back there that, I've got files, when I started here, we really got our first computer, so I've got some computerized files, I've got paper files back there. Before I started, what they would do is they would print a report, put it on flash drive, one of the little floppy disks, and save the paper report. So they had paper reports for at least 10 years before I got here. I've got to hang on to those. Some of those reports you have to hang on to. So there's 30 years worth of reports in that back room also. Some of the newer reports, because I ran out of stacking space there, some of those newer reports are going downstairs on a shelf in the basement. That's more of a controlled environment than what that room is. That's just basically because I don't have an option. I have no other place to take them.
Thanks, Fred.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Fred.
What's everybody's thoughts?
No, let's do the study.
Yeah, I think we have to do the feasibility study.
That gives us an idea how much money it's gonna cost. I mean, we can guess.
We're gonna have to do that anyway, even if we just do this one.
I make a motion, we do the feasible study.
Motion by Gale,
I'll second it.
second by Oliphant, roll call.
And just for clarification, that's $2,500,
Yeah.
correct?
Mhm.
Not
For
the
$2,500,
$7,500.
yes.
Yep, that's the
2,500 bucks.
feasibility amount.
Yes.
Oliphant,
Aye.
Weber,
Aye.
Hush,
Nay.
Gale,
Aye.
Delaney.
Aye.
Number 14, consideration to approve ordinance number 5-25, an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Cascade, Iowa by amending Title 6, Physical Environment, Chapter 5, Utilities Billing Charges, Section 8, Water Rates of Service, and this is the second reading. Need a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Delaney,
I'll second it.
second by Gale, roll call.
Weber,
Aye.
Hush,
Aye.
Gale,
Aye.
Delaney.
Aye.
Oliphant.
Aye.
Number 15, consideration to approve ordinance number 6-25, an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Cascade, Iowa by amending Title 6, Physical Environment, Chapter 5, Utilities, Billing Charges, Section 11, Rate of Sewer Rent and Manner of Payment. This is the second reading. Need a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Oliphant,
Second.
second by Hush. Roll call.
Hush,
Aye.
Gale,
Aye.
Delaney,
Aye.
Oliphant,
Aye.
Weber.
Number 16, discussion on the request from CEDC and allocated funds in fiscal year '26, and this had been tabled.
And we just, if we want to keep it tabled, we just don't take any action,
Just no action.
no action.
Okay, we'll go to 17, reports. Fred? Was there any snow removal issues with vehicles?
There was a couple of them.
But not much.
Not much. I know Deanna and I had talked. We didn't declare a snow emergency or anything. There were 4 vehicles that were kind of over by in the food pantry area. And Sunday morning, I had messaged, or Deanna had messaged me back and forth. I checked on the vehicles when I went out of town to do some snow removal myself. Had been 4 vehicles there. There were 2 that were gone. When I came back into town, the other 2 were gone. So there was 1 vehicle that had been sitting there, I think in the
Bless you.
first snowstorm, that had been sitting there for a while, so I threw a parking ticket on it, and I happened to see somebody walk in the building. They got a hold of somebody, and that afternoon, the car was moved. So, other than that, I know there's some down on Polk Street, it's a rental property. I talked to the landlord, and he kind of took care of that. So, other than that, no, it's been, knock on wood, we didn't get any snow this last weekend, so. But,
Behind the old library, there's been a car parked in the handicap spot. Is that
take a look at it.
allowed?
Well, it depends upon
probably
if they're
not
handicapped or
handicapped,
not.
yeah.
I'll
It's
have to take a
been,
look
it's
at
been there a
it.
long time.
It's been there a long time.
I know there was another one that was in there, and I ended up getting a hold of the girl, and it got moved.
Okay.
But
So-
is it considered a handicap spot if there's no occupant in the building?
It's a designated handicap spot.
Okay.
Whether
it
the
from-
building's
One of the
occupied or not.
buildings,
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's designated as a handicap spot,
Irregardless.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'll check the vehicle, see if it's got a handicap sticker or registration or anything on it.
Thank you.
Yep.
It's your turn.
Well, I don't have a lot to report because all we've been doing is working on the conversion.
How's it going?
It's,
That well, huh? Oh, my.
no, it's
Yeah.
going, it's going
good.
well.
Fred's,
It's just-
Fred's been trying to keep them both from walking out into moving traffic.
It's just a lot. It's just a lot. But they're very thorough and we go through everything that, which is good because then we're finding, mistakes or errors or, things that could potentially cause problems. And like, now today, we looked at payroll stuff. So when we do payroll Friday, we are going to do it in the old system and the new system. And hopefully everything, when we get done, all the reports match, all the numbers match. So, we went through stuff today to make sure that everything, all the employees are set up correctly, all the everything. There's just a lot more to it than, you would think. So,
New system, a whole lot of work to get it up and running.
yes,
Yep.
yes. And because of the conversion and data and stuff, we will not have the November month-end financial reports until the January meeting. And then just a reminder, with the holidays coming up, that if you have garbage or recycling on the east side, that's normally Thursday, it will be picked up on Friday.
Friday. Gotcha.
And then I did include budget calendars in your packet, just so you're aware of what's happening with the budget and when we'll start discussing the budget as council, and just so you have an idea of the whole schedule of what we have to do, the hearings we have to have, and the budget is due on April 30th, so.
Did you get all the department budgets in last Friday?
No, I didn't. But, it's not like I really have time to
Yeah.
deal with them right now anyway, so, but like after the holidays, it'll be budget full speed.
Good job. If there's nothing else for the betterment of the community, I'd like a motion to adjourn.
I will make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Oliphant. Second by Weber. All in favor?
Aye.